Okay, guys, everybody's wondering how you season an iron skillet. So, I kind of muddled my way through it, but basically it's the same idea. You need grease or oil of some kind. You can use vegetable oil. I've gotten to where I've backed away from cooking with seed oils, so just for health reasons. Now, just so you know, I'm not sure that seed oils are horrible for you, but you hear that a lot now. So, better safe than sorry. So I'm going to turn this on because I cooked some ground beef in this ground chuck, and so it's got some gristle in the bottom and some grease. I'm going to heat it up so I can get all that out of it. But one of the main things you want to remember about seasoning an iron skillet is one, unless you absolutely have to, do not use dish soap in it. Okay. Do not, don't try not to scrub it really hard. Basically, you can burn anything out of it that needs to be burned out of it. I know that a lot of people now these days are so conscious about germs and things of that nature, but I'm telling you something, you're not going to get sick or have germs from an iron skillet if you burn stuff out of it. It's not going to happen. Okay. The only thing that you want to be concerned about is the carbon in there coming out onto your food. Okay, so it's not going to hurt you. Don't get me wrong; it won't hurt you. But you see, it's getting hotter. The grease is starting to melt a little bit. Now I'll scrape some stuff out of it, and I'll use a sponge on it sometimes. But I'm not going to use any types of soaps in it. And then I'm gonna wipe it down, wipe everything out. So now it's starting to boil a little bit. All right, that grease is. So what I'm going to do is, hang on a second. I'm going to pause this real quick. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to get paper towel, and I'm going to start wiping grease out of it. Okay, because that's really all you're trying to do is get the gristle and the food particles and all that out of it. So you see that? Pretty nasty. So I'm going to take that over here and throw it away. And, and so you can rinse it out with water. It's not going to hurt it. Use a sponge if you need to. So I'm going to go rinse it out, and I'll show you what it's like when I get back. Okay, now, so I took it. That's just water in it. I rinsed it with warm water, and I took it and I used a sponge and I wiped all the stuff out of it. Okay, put it on here. As you can see, the eye is red hot. Okay, now you can put it in the oven if you want to. It doesn't matter, however you want to do that. So now I'm heating it up. I'm going to evaporate all of the water. All right. You see the center is a little thinner. It doesn't have as much of the carbon on it as the outside does. All right, so I've got some all right. So I've got some, not shortening. This is animal fat. Okay, that's what I grew up on. Just gonna put that in here. Gotta be careful when it gets really, really hot. This will flame up. So if it catches on fire, don't worry about it. It's not gonna hurt anything. Just to make sure it's not hitting anything above it where it's gonna catch anything on fire. Okay. I'm gonna take that and let that do that. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit for right now. Okay, it's going to evaporate any of the moisture in it. It's gonna turn the fan on. Get all that smoke that's coming off. Hey guys, when I was growing up, this is what they cooked with. Now they used vegetable shortening, and I'm not completely against vegetable shortening. I still don't think it's the best in the world for you. I mean, corn oils and things of that nature. So now it's getting really hot, so it may flame up. So get this over here. Put that in the middle. While it's doing that, I'm going to stop. Okay, so I got another paper towel. Be careful with this, guys. I mean, don't burn yourself. So I'm just going to spread this around a little bit. spread the oil around, okay? Get around the edges, get in the middle. The middle is really where I want to go because that's where the heat is and that's where it's trying to burn off everything it can, okay? Smoking really good. A lot of that off. I love my iron skillets, okay? Now I got a Dutch oven recently, but it's and it is a Lodge, but it also is it has ceramic on it, so I don't really care. I mean, I'm going to get a Dutch oven that is just nothing but iron with no ceramic coating on it, just because I like that, and just so I can have one. And you know, I'm going to go all the way around. I want to get this good seasoned all the way around it. Okay, like I said, you can put it in the oven if you want to. It's not going to make any difference. I've put it in the air fryer, and does that. That makes it really, really easy. And you know, and I think the air fryers do a better job about using less electricity, because by the time you heat your big oven up and those burners and everything, it tends to use a lot of electricity. So I think the air fryers are great because they heat up and they blow hot air across it. And so I use that a lot. I love our air fryer. I got a big one in the dive shop. I've got a small one that we use there. So there we go. I turned the heat down to a little over medium high instead of being on high. All right, guys, and this is it. I mean, you know, it's clean now. I've gotten all the carbon gristle out of it, all the deposits off of it, and now it's fine. So I didn't use any soaps on it. I didn't, you know, which takes the oils out of it. And I didn't scrub it down with anything. I just used the sponge on it, and that pulled everything out of it. And guys, if it had some, you know, little pieces of something left on it, I would just burn that off. You know, it's not going to hurt anything. It's certainly not going to hurt the pan, and it'll burn off, and then you just wipe it out. It's not a big deal. So that's it. My pan is good. It's good to cook on now. It's still seasoned. I didn't mess it up. Now look, don't think just because something's seasoned that it's completely, totally non-stick. You'll get stuff that'll stick to it, especially if you start out with a really hot pan instead of heating it up. So be real careful with it. Just make sure you don't remove the oils out of it with soaps and things like that, and just re-season it every time. You know, put some oil on it. I like the animal fat. So I'm using the Armor. It's armored lard. Okay, that's what I'm using. I'm using the lard. So like I said, you know, when I was growing up, my grandparents and my mom, they cooked with that a lot. So it's not like, you know, it was, you know, the 80s. I'm gonna tell you something, guys. The 80s really, really, really messed us up. They got us on this low fat, no fats diets, and got us away from animal fats because they, you know, supposedly horribly bad, and cholesterol and all that good stuff. And I'm gonna tell you something, they hurt a lot of people. More people have probably died from that low fat, no animal fat diet than anything else in the world, because it's not good for you. All right, guys, so that's how I season my pans. All right, so don't all right, well, I started a new video. I just have to stitch them together. But that's how I do my pan, my cast iron, and it works fine. Works really well. You know, I learned a long time ago that if you scrub it out and scrub it down, you know, you'll start getting rust in it, and you don't want to do that. You want to keep it nice and well oiled and greased all the time, and you know, make sure you heat it up. It gets rid of all any kind of bacteria, anything that might be in it. So it does that, and you know, it works great. I just can't say enough good things about it. So I'm gonna take this off. It's still smoking a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead now and just put a little more lard in there, so that'll be in there.